Why did he choose? Why didn't he choose any? How could he scam his fans? Why is DDG He's not even choosing anyone but his friends. Why did he choose only big creators?
Shut up! What's up, all my aliens? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Naya Barcelona, and as you can see by the title of today's video, we're going to be talking about CONACT and Streamer University. Now, I'm not going to lie, I watched a video on this topic by one of my favorite creators, and I'm not going to name him in this video. If you know, then you know. If you don't, then you just don't, whatever. But honestly, I was very disappointed by the video because it just sounded super misinformed and from a biased opinion. So I'm here to kind of just give my take on it because that video inspired me to do my own video on this subject. And I want to give you guys a video through the lens of someone who actually watched Streamer University in real time and got information from it, not just someone that watched clips or someone who didn't really pay much attention to it. Like, I want to give you a real authentic opinion about Streamer University. Also, as someone who applied and didn't get accepted into the program, I still took it upon myself to watch because I was just curious about what the heck were they about to do. Now, if you're new and you have no clue what I'm even talking about, Streamer University is a program hosted by, I believe, the biggest Twitch streamer right now, if not one of the biggest, CONACT. He's a young man from New York. He's around 22, no older than 22, I want to say. I don't really watch him, but I've seen clips of him on my TikTok, so that's kind of how I am familiar with him. But it's a program hosted by him where he takes a bunch of streamers, brings them to a college campus, and lets them stream. And this event was taking place for one weekend from May 22nd to the 25th. And what it really was a lighthearted event where streamers could come and network. It was creators of all sizes. And he just kind of put them all together and had them work. That was really it. It was essentially a networking event for streamers. Now, CONACT selected 120 people to participate in this. And I think out of the 120, about 80-ish were smaller creators. So I want to say it ranged from like 100K to 5K. Like, it was, because the bigger creators were in the millions, you know, like they had millions of followers. The smaller ones were around 100K and lower, down to like 4K. Not only did the students have to apply, but the professors had to apply as well. I bet some people didn't realize that. Like, I saw a lot of people complaining about, oh, why are there big creators being selected? And it's like, you need the bigger creators in order to support the small creators. I guarantee you, I literally guarantee you, if CONACT only selected small, unknown people, one, nobody would want to watch. And two, people who did watch were going to complain that it was boring. They're going to say, oh, we don't know these people, I don't want to watch. I guarantee. So you pick big creators, you can't win. You pick small creators, you can't win. So the only way really is to just add them both. Put them both in. And for the most part, the big streamers were professors. They weren't considered students, they were considered professors. And those professors were teaching lessons. So some of the professors that he did have on board were DDG, India Love, Funny Marco, Bendadon, someone named I'm Dante. I don't really know who I'm Dante is, but he did have a large following. Agent 00 was also there. There were like a good number of people who were teaching as professors. And I know you guys might be like, what the heck are they going to teach? I'm not going to hold you. We're about to spotlight somebody right now. But to be honest, I feel like the whole point of Streamer University, period, was just to elevate on Twitch. CONACT had already stated before the program began that he was not going to be teaching people how to stream. Basically, what you had to do as a smaller creator, especially, was just get your name known. Get in there, stream, and get yourself known. And I think the viewer expectation after the weekend had ended, there were so many complaints. But I think the viewer expectation was way higher than what it should have been. Because when you think about CONACT's content, it's a lot of jokes, it's a lot of yelling, it's a lot of, like, I don't know, it's very playful. CONACT is very playful, very hype, very upbeat person. I don't watch the streams, but I have seen the clips, and it's very chaotic. So I was not expecting Streamer University to be anything less than chaotic. I'm not gonna lie. One of the issues I did have, though, is that a lot of the people watching were complaining that the big streamers were overshadowing the small streamers. And I feel like that wasn't true. As somebody who was watching in real time, I discovered a few really cool smaller creators. There was one girl named Thickney that I found. I ended up following her on Twitch. I think his name is Danny Bands. I don't remember for sure. I think it's Danny Bands. Who else did I find? This girl, Cayuas, who I believe her name is pronounced Cayuas. But they were saying that she was getting bullied because one of the other streamers, another small creator there, had said she wasn't attractive enough to be on social media. And I think that's pretty messed up. But that was nipped in the butt immediately. CONACT handled that. So for people to say there was so much bullying going on, it's like, was there? I didn't see that much bullying. And granted, I can't watch all 120 streams at the same time. CONACT was, but I can't be watching all 120 streams at once. So maybe I missed some points here and there, but from what I saw, everything was handled right away. And I feel like if the big streamers did overshadow the smaller streamers, that really wasn't their fault or CONACT's fault. It was basically a matter of who do you want to watch at Streamer University. And I feel like a lot of the big streamers, for example, CONACT didn't even stream that much because his streams were going to pull viewers from the smaller streamers. And the whole point was to watch smaller streamers. And I think Duke Dennis also didn't stream much for that reason because his streams were going to pull from the smaller people. He did go live. I missed it, but I saw the clip of it. He did go live once for like 3 minutes, and there was somewhere around 50,000 people in there, and he was like, nah, turn it off. But I heard there were other reasons behind that too, but I think one of the reasons was because it was pulling from like the other streamers. And there was I saw a girl in the comments of a TikTok, and she was like, yeah, when Duke went live, I sure did leave this person's stream to go watch him. So I'm like, thank goodness that him and Kai were not streaming that much, because I'm sure it would have pulled from other people's viewership, and that's what they didn't want. The whole point, honestly, I believe, was for smaller streamers to take advantage of the big streamers being there and use this to their advantage. Now, there is a streamer I want to get into who I thought was hilarious. His name is Corey2U. He was one of the smaller streamers. If I'm not mistaken, he came to Streamer University with only 5K followers on Twitch. Corey, this young man, he ate. Corey ate. He took full advantage of his opportunity. When I tell you, Corey created his storyline from top to bottom, start to finish, he really did that. First and foremost, everything I'm saying in this part of the video is alleged because I don't really know exactly the information. This is stuff I pulled from the internet and just found out about him. But one, Corey showed up in a ski mask. He was not playing. He said, this is my character. I'm a YN with my ski mask, and I'm just here for entertainment purposes only. Two, Corey showed up with negative $600 or so in his bank account. He literally came and jumped on a leap of faith. Like, he just said, I'm here with no money, and I'm going to do what I got to do. And not only that, but he ended up networking and talking to Agent, one of the professors who is also in the AMP house. And Agent gave him $2,500 to get him out of debt.
Okay, $612 in overdraft fees.
And credit card loan, credit card right there.
I have a Marvel Rivals ad I'm doing later today, so I'm gonna be getting paid, and I'm gonna give you $2,500 from that.
Wait, you
get
sure?
you out the debt.
Nah,
you
give
you $500 to work with at DreamCon. So that should be plenty.
and to help him with some expenses for DreamCon, because Corey's also going to DreamCon, which I think is this weekend, happening right now, or happened yesterday. I think it's this whole weekend. But anyway, so that was one of two things Corey, you know, showed up with at Streamer University. But Corey also built a storyline around beefing with DDG. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this beef was so funny to watch, y'all. And this is what I mean when the small streamers have to take advantage of the bigger streamers. You have to. When Corey and DDG were fighting, all I could think about is Peter Griffin and the chicken. The chicken fight with Peter Griffin. They were fighting the whole weekend, bro. Like, Corey and DDG storyline was hilarious. And I'm actually glad that DDG let Corey, you know, kind of get his streams and his clips in, because those were some of the funniest clips I have ever seen in my life. And Corey, he knew exactly how to clip farm. If you don't know what clip farming is basically putting yourself in various situations where your stream can get clipped into little segments and go viral. And Corey, he knew how to clip farm. He put himself out there. He forced himself into spaces with bigger creators. And I feel like that's what it's really about. You have to force yourself in. You got to put yourself out there. And the bigger streamers were letting him do his thing. They're letting him do whatever. Like, nobody was really like getting angry or I guess annoyed with him. Like, he really just, he did whatever he wanted to do. And he ended up with one of the most viral, funniest clips from Streamer University. I'm gonna play it for y'all right now.
So I guess I'm getting fired.
We knew that. Yes!
Wait, what?
When the
Was he the whole time?
I said the same I looked over.
Wait, what?
Yes! This needs to be done! Yes!
What'd you do then?
My day is good. I'm going to bed. Doodle garbage.
In that scene, Corey sneaks into India Love's room with Kai, and they end up having to talk about this party that happened and who's getting fired. And so DDG is the one that's getting fired, which is also crazy because, you know, they have their long-standing beef. DDG gets fired and Corey goes crazy, and that clip just makes me laugh. I watch it on repeat because it is so funny, y'all. But ultimately, Corey left Streamer University with 84,000 followers on Twitch. Now, if you remember, I told you he arrived with 5K. He gained roughly 80,000. Yeah, because he had 84.4K, I think, now. So he gained about 80,000 subscribers, which is wild. And there are people who left with the range anywhere from 4K beginning to 400K leaving. That was the whole point. The focal point of this whole thing was Twitch. Streaming on Twitch. I think a lot of people missed that message. I think they assumed it would be all social media platforms, but it was focused solely on Twitch, which is amazing. Because those people who came in, the smaller creators who came in, really left with a much bigger platform, and I'm so happy that they did. And of course, I couldn't watch every streamer, but the ones that I did, the smaller ones, all of them didn't put themselves out there. There were some people, including the professors, who just sat in the room. Like, cooking with Kaya, I really wanted to see her outgoing. I don't know if she's outgoing or not, but like, she sat in her room most of the weekend just talking to her stream. But I really wanted to see her out there, you know, mixing and mingling with the other professors. But she just didn't. Which was kind of disappointing because I don't know her, but I feel like I still don't know her. Even after seeing that whole weekend of her on the stream. I still don't know her. But then you had other people like India Love, who I have been following India Love since Tumblr. And she didn't really show too much personality from what I've seen. But at Streamer University, she really came out of her shell. She was mixing and mingling with the smaller streamers. And that's what you really want. You want people like India Love, DDG, and Duke to be mingling with you when you are a smaller streamer. You have to force yourself into those spaces. And I feel like not a lot of the small streamers took advantage of that. Now, there is this one streamer, I don't remember her name, but she did post on TikTok about how she really just came to learn. And I'm gonna add her clip in this video. Hopefully it doesn't get copyrighted. But I'm gonna put her clip in this video just so you guys can see and hear what she had to say. Because she made a valid point too, whereas if you were there just to learn and not so much to stream, which I still don't really understand because like it's been tough from the beginning that you're gonna be streaming. But I digress. Not everyone came to, you know, be crazy and outgoing and jump around. So I'm gonna add her clip now.
The small streamers wasted an opportunity of a lifetime, which is a criticism I've been seeing floating around on TikTok. I just wanted to chime in and give my perspective as a student that was at Streamer University who wasn't streaming 24/7 or didn't have any viral clips. Yet, I'm still harvesting all the clip farm. To clarify, for the record, I got exactly what I wanted from the experience and have no regrets at all. It wasn't that the big creators were unapproachable. They were all so willing to collaborate with us, and it's not that I have a lack of gratitude. I am fully aware of how lucky and privileged I am to have been chosen out of millions of applications. I think the main difference was a priority in goals. So the majority of the students had the following goals: maximize screen time, increase following, and entertain with viral clips. These are great goals and effective strategies for growth. We know, we've seen, they have the proof is in the pudding, right? But I'm not criticizing anyone who did this. I just want to clarify that. Personally, I had a different set of goals for the trip, which of course yields different results. When I got the invite to participate, I planned 3 major goals for the experience. 1, learn tangible methods for the streaming industry and branding. 2, fully enjoy the experience. And 3, authentically interact with like-minded creators to get inspiration from them and make connections. We all know this was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I personally did not want to compromise my attentiveness in class and any memories that I made to kind of blow up overnight. And again, it's no hate to anybody who did this because I completely understand where they're coming from. Again, I just want to explain my reasoning. I didn't want to set false expectations for my content. I do shorter chat-led streams on Twitch with kind of awkward humor. On here, I make anime girl videos. I don't want to present a high-energy IRL streamer persona during the event, gain a ton of followers because they're like, oh, that's probably the content that Brie makes, and then do my, normal day-to-day content and give the viewers whiplash, basically. One could argue I should have pushed myself out of my comfort zone more. Trust me, I did, okay? I am a chronically online gamer who doesn't leave their house for up to 3 days at a time. I was fighting every reflex in my body 24/7. I made sure to really introduce myself to everybody I met, always sit with someone at mealtime, complete strangers, I've never met these people before. And being in an environment with screaming fans outside, here to see the bigger streamers, and at least 20 cameras live streaming every moment, I was really, really pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And I'm not complaining, again, I'm just trying to say, basically, I did, trust me.
Now, I do respect her as a creator and her focal point of going to Streamer University because, again, there's over 100 people. Not everyone is going to be there for the same thing or have the same methods or anything like that. But for me personally, if I got selected, I would have been out there in the field grinding. My name would have been put out there. I wouldn't be going as hard as Corey because I'm not that outgoing. But I definitely would have been putting myself out there a little bit more. But one thing I want to touch on now is one thing that the creator who I watched said is, he said something along the lines of, what are these people even going to be teaching or learning? And now I want to spotlight 2 people, briefly India Love, because I feel like she did a really good assignment for her class so her topic was love and relationships. That's what she was teaching for the weekend. And there was one assignment that she taught, a homework assignment she gave, where it was to write yourself a love letter. And I really liked that because when you are a bigger online personality, you get so much hate from all directions. You get a lot of hate. Even me on my small YouTube, I've gotten so many hate comments before. I had a video go viral and I got roasted. They roasted the crap out of me. But when you have a lot of self-love built up, that stuff doesn't affect you. So I really love that she told her students to just write a love letter to yourself, and she would read them on the stream. If anybody wanted it read on stream, she was gonna go read them to the, you know, her audience or whatever. I think some of the stuff that the professors were providing was of real value. DDG, his lesson was on how to deal with internet beef. I didn't watch his streams at all. I don't know. I just don't really, I don't know. DDG, I used to watch him on YouTube, but now I kind of just like outgrew him. So I didn't really watch his streams on that weekend on Twitch. But there was one person I did discover, and we need to talk about him because I am in love with him now. I legit love him. We need to talk about Agent. Now, I know Agent is very popular, but for me personally, I'm not big on Twitch like that. I don't watch a lot of Twitch streams, but I discovered him at Streamer University. I made a Twitch to watch Streamer University. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I made a Twitch just so I could watch it. And Agent has my heart because he is a natural born teacher. He came ready to really teach his students gems. He gave them so many gems. Like, I honestly think he was the best professor at Streamer U. I'm not gonna lie. One of the things that he touched upon was pocket watching, which is basically he dissects a creator's income for his class, and he chose DDG. For the month of April, he dissected DDG's whole income and ended up showing that DDG made $1 million. Over $1 million, and that wasn't even including all of DDG's sources of income. So he probably made more than that million. It was a rough estimate. Agent also broke down his own expenses as far as what he makes from streaming and brand deals and whatnot. And that's very transparent because if I'm not mistaken, he also talked about how he got put in debt at one point. So he was given like all his info, everything he knew, all his knowledge, he was giving it to his students. He talked about YouTube thumbnails. He also gifted 3 of his students $5,000 brand deals. That's crazy. That's amazing. Imagine being a small streamer who's never had a brand deal before. You go to Streamer University and you get gifted a $5,000 brand deal. Not only that, but he followed up with his students when Streamer University ended, which I love. I don't know if he flew them out or if they were just kind of already there, but no, he had to have flown them out because they were in Atlanta after. I think he flew them out. I think he flew his students out to the AMP house in Georgia, showed them around, followed up with them, really talked to them, and I feel like Agent is taking it really serious. Like, his job as a professor, and I guess now a mentor to these people, because imagine that's like giving somebody a car and being like, all right, go out there in the world and just do whatever. And they don't even have the money to pay for the car. Oprah, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. I don't know. I just feel like Agent really is taking his position as a professor seriously with the way he's following up with the students. He's helping them brainstorm how to kind of navigate their brand deals. Like, I just think it's amazing. He has become my literal favorite in the AMP house. Like, I love Agent. Love him. Absolutely love him. I wish that he just sees so much more success in the future. And I hope that he starts another YouTube channel or something where he just gives gems. Because he is really a natural born teacher. And I'm glad that he was picked as a professor because I learned a lot. And I actually have to go back and rewatch his stream. But I learned a lot. But other than that, I feel like Streamer University shouldn't have been approached with such high expectations of what it was going to be, because honestly, it was literally for fun. And I think a lot of people failed to realize that it was just for fun. You have to think about who Kai Cenat is and his content and really remember it's very lighthearted. Again, it's very chaotic. He's young. This is the first year they ever did Streamer University. There's gonna be cracks and there's gonna be mistakes made. You have to learn as you grow and figure it out from evaluating the first time you did it into the second time he does it. Hopefully there's a second time because I do want to be part of that. It actually seemed really dope. There was some moments where I was like, what the heck is going on? I'm a little too old for this. But it seems like a good opportunity and it's a great way to network. And I saw personally a lot of small creators connecting with the big creators letting them have their shine, letting them do their thing. partying with them, just being cool. Like, everyone seemed so friendly. And I feel like because CONACT has such a sometimes bad reputation, people expected very less of him. I think it's a little messed up because it actually turned out pretty decent. If you go on TikTok and you type in Streamer University, there are so many clips that got clip farmed. Like, it's actually crazy. There's so many funny clips. And those clips feature big and small creators. You just have to look. Just scroll. You will see them. I will say though, did a lot of the big streamers get a lot of shine? Yes, they're big streamers. And I don't blame them for not always approaching small streamers, because the small streamers essentially are strangers. And a lot of us, they're regular human beings. They're streamers, they're popular, but they're still human beings at the end of the day. And even myself as a regular human being, I don't really approach strangers. I just don't. And if I was a big streamer, I'm gonna still have the same personality. I'm not gonna really approach strangers that much. However, if I had millions of followers and a small streamer approached me, I'm gonna approach them with kindness and grace and as a mentor, with the mentorship mindset. I'm not gonna be rude. I'm not gonna push them out of my video. And I feel like a lot of the big streamers at Streamer University did just that. They approached with kindness and they helped the small streamers get their clips. Point blank period. They helped them get their clips, and that's what mattered the most. And if you were a small streamer who didn't take advantage of the big streamers being so generous with their audiences, I don't know what to tell you. And this is where I want to just address one last thing before I end this video, but I do want to address this bigger creator there named Tyla. I believe his real name is James Tyla, but they call him Tyla for social media purposes, whatever. He really did his thing. I can't even lie. Tyla, I watched some of his streams. I ended up following him because I just love his personality so much. But he really outdid himself. Tyla, if y'all don't know, is one of CONACT's friends. I don't know if he's in the AMP house. I don't think so. But he is very close to Kai, and he has a bigger following. I think he has about 800,000 on Instagram. And at Streamer University, he did hit 1 million. So good for him. It was much deserved. He hit 1 million on stream. And I'm very happy for him because Tyla was one of the bigger creators that really put himself out there for the small creators, for the babies, the newbies. I feel like he appeared in like just about every streamer's videos. Like, I don't even know. He really put himself out there. He even went to these 2 girls who were smaller creators and gave them $100 each. Like, just gave them $100, just being kind. He was gifting creators with followers or subscriptions or something like that. I don't really know how Twitch works, y'all. I'm trying to figure it out because I do want to start streaming. So if you want to follow me on Twitch. It'll be on the screen and description box. But again, Tyla was really just putting himself out there. He was connecting with the small creators. He was just being so kind. He was inspiring people. I remember there was one of the professors, his name is Preacher Keese, and he was sitting down at the table eating lunch, but he only had 6 people on his stream watching at the time. He was eating his lunch. He had 6 viewers, and Tyla walks up and is just like, this is how it begins, but you're gonna make it. You got this. Like, he was encouraging him. And I ended up following Preacher Keese. Because of that interaction, I followed Preacher Keese. I was like, I want to see what he has to offer now. And then another clip goes by, like I think the next day, where Tyla is walking outside and Preacher Keese is out there with 5 phones, I think each on different platform, streaming his sermon. And I was just like, I gotta watch him. And just the fact that Tyla even just stopped to show that, to show his drive, show Preacher Keese's drive, is amazing. So I really give Tyla his props because where he could get, he got. no matter what size you were, Tyla was popping up. It didn't even matter if you called for him or not. He was coming for you. It didn't matter. So Tyla, congrats to him for hitting 1 million followers on Twitch. That is amazing. He was dope. I really like him. But to conclude this video, I just want to say I think a lot of people are being a little bit harsh on Kai. Again, this was the first time they ever did Streamer University. Did it get chaotic? Yes, of course. It's Kai Cenat, it's AMP, it's random strangers who are all trying to stream and get their content. You're gonna have chaos. Should they have destroyed the college like they did? Because it got a little messy. Like, the dorms were getting a mess. Should they have done all that? No. But again, you're bringing a bunch of chaotic streamers who are trying to get viral moments. Something like that is bound to happen. And I do hope that the damages, if any serious damages were there, were paid for. But I'm giving Kai Cenat grace. I'm giving him his props because he actually owns the idea of Streamer University, so only he can create anything else like that. He had gotten offers from big networks like Netflix and Tubi asking if they could put the Streamer U on there, and he was like, nope, keeping it at home where it was formed and not giving it to any of y'all. So much respect to that. I'm very excited to see what happens next because a lot of the streamers who were at Streamer University are still streaming. Till this day, they're still streaming. I've been seeing a lot of people get inspired by those creators to stream themselves, including myself. I'm going to get on Twitch and start streaming as well. I don't know what exactly I'm going to be talking about, but something's going to get done. So again, follow me on my new Twitch channel if you want to check me out. But again, I just feel like we need to give Kai a little bit of grace here and not attack and jump on him over this. And I feel like it's just at the point where what's done is done. No need to be angry about it, and we just kind of gotta go from there. I give it much respect. Kai Cenat is doing things that a lot of other streamers are not doing. They're trying to jump on his bandwagon now that they see him doing things, but he's really out here helping a lot of small creators, and I'm giving him his props for that. So hopefully next year y'all see me on there, but you know what? I'm giving him his props. I don't even care. He's getting his props from me. But if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button down below. Get locked into the Alien fam because you're going to love it over here. It's all fun vibes. Also, follow me on my social media. I'm on TikTok and Instagram. Feel free to follow me on those platforms. I'm also on Twitch. So I'm going to be streaming next weekend. So, you know, come follow me. But again, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.